When the 3D says it's not here, that's when you say, yes, it is. When the 3D says you didn't succeed, that's when you say, yes, I did. When the 3D says, I'm the proof, you say, no, I'm the proof. When the 3D says you can't see your manifestation, so it's not real, you say, I believe in my manifestation, so it is real. When the 3D says you've changed, that's scary, go back to your old self, you say, yes, I have changed, and nice try, but I'm not going back. The biggest mistake that people make when manifesting isn't doubting it's possible. It's reacting to your 3D trying to tell you that it's not. Every single time you react to your current circumstances as if they're permanent, you're reinforcing the very identity that created them. And today I'm going to show you the 3 ways for you to ignore your reality, which are to stop negotiating, to stop reacting, and to start deciding. Because when you can do all 3, you will finally stay in the identity that manifests your dream life. Hey my angels, I'm Christian, and welcome back to my YouTube channel where we talk all things mindset, manifestation, spiritual healing, and beauty. Today we're diving into a highly requested topic, and I love giving you guys what you ask for because everything I do is about helping you become the master over your reality and life. I always break down my videos into 3 steps because I believe that identity transformation and manifestation should be actionable. And that's why I've rebranded my 8 laws to manifest power into one cohesive and practical master guide to manifestation. My master guide to manifestation includes all my laws, all my methods, and practical tools for you to shift your identity and manifest your dream life just like I did. So many of you have been asking me, how do I continue to believe when my reality shows me the opposite? How do I ignore my 3D when I don't see my manifestation? And I get it, there are so many blocks in this 3D physical reality that continuously reel you back into limiting beliefs and your old identity. And so by the end of this video, you're gonna learn exactly how to stop letting your 3D pull you out of your manifestation. You're gonna understand why your current circumstances are not your truth, and exactly how to stop being distracted or discouraged by your 3D reality. The first thing I wanna make crystal clear is that the world and universe are completely neutral and impartial. However, you are not. Whenever you react negatively to your 3D reality, you're reacting as the version of you who doesn't already have what you want. And as I said, every single time you offer unfavorable circumstances an emotional reaction, you crystallize and reinforce the identity of not having what you want. And you also reinforce the idea that it's real. Energy goes where attention flows. That's why when babies throw tantrums, instead of reacting to them, we ignore them. We don't feed their negative behavior with our attention. The same applies to your 3D, and the same applies to your limiting beliefs. When you say, why don't I have it in my 3D yet? The antagonist is not your 3D. The antagonist is actually you, because the version of you who already has it would never say that. So ignoring your 3D reality is about always thinking, feeling, and acting from the version of you who already has it. Now, if I'm going to teach you exactly how to stop reacting to your 3D reality, you must first trust me. There have been moments in my career and on my content journey where my 3D reality looked nothing like what I was holding in my vision. Moments where the numbers weren't there, where the opportunities weren't showing up, and where the people around me weren't reflecting back to me the version of myself I was trying to become. And in those moments, the temptation to react or to shrink or to doubt or to conclude that it wasn't working was overwhelming. And I know you've been through this too, because as children, we get taught that you must see it to believe it. But the truth is that you must believe it to then see it. And always, no matter what, continue to have blind faith in your manifestation and never give your 3D reality the attention it wants. So on that note, let's get into the first way for you to ignore your 3D reality reality, which is to stop negotiating. I want you to stop negotiating with any possibility that what you want is not already yours. Because when you do, you fluctuate between the old identity and the new identity who already has what you want. When we react to our 3D physical world and reality and say, I don't have my manifestation yet, we are thinking, feeling, and acting from the old identity. And what I always encourage everyone, from my friends to my family to my clients, is to always think from the identity and version of you who already has what you want. There's no room for negotiation. You already have it. It's inevitable. And your 3D will always catch up, even if it's not showing you what you want. You know, it's so normal to feel doubtful and fearful and anxious when we don't see the thing that we want in our 3D reality. And it's really exciting to launch a new desire and manifestation into the universe. But the real mastery is persisting in thinking, feeling, and acting from the identity and version of you who already has what you want, and not allowing the 3D to pull you back into the old identity just because you don't see it physically. And because I want you to stop negotiating with your 3D reality, I'm going to show you what negotiating really looks like. Negotiating with your 3D reality sounds like maybe it's coming, maybe it's not. I believed it before, but now I'm not sure. Or maybe I should adjust my expectations. And every time you negotiate and go back and forth with your old identity, you are entertaining a version of reality that was created by that old identity. And you're treating it like it has authority over you, but it doesn't. To stop negotiating with your 3D reality actually starts with raising your standards and self-worth. You need to treat your 3D reality like your dream partner. If your dream partner is treating you badly, you're not going to stay and accept that because that's not your dream partner. Same for your 3D reality. You're not going to accept that as yours because you know that's not your dream life. If your dream partner is going back and forth with you saying, now you have me, okay, now you don't, okay, now you have me again, you're not going to stay because you don't negotiate as to whether you're with someone or not. You're either in or you're out. And the same applies to your 3D. You don't negotiate whether it's yours or not just because you don't see it yet. So even if your 3D is a delayed projection of your past and old self, you need to always think, feel, and act from the version and identity who already has it. You already have it. It's already yours. It's already here. It's already on its way to you, and it's already done. So on that note, let's talk about the second shift to ignore your 3D reality, which is to stop reacting. I want you to think of your 3D reality as a slow learning baby, and you are a patient parent, a really, really patient parent. So you've taught your baby that it's not nice to hit. And even though you've told them this, a baby being a baby will still hit you sometimes. And sometimes they hit you in the face or in the eye or in the mouth. And even though it hurts you, you remain the patient parent. You don't react. You don't hit them back. You don't spiral and say, oh my God, my baby will always hit me. You know that it's inevitable that they will stop hitting you because you teach them how to act. And just like your 3D, you teach it how to act. Now let's apply the same analogy to your 3D reality. You've told your 3D exactly what you want, and it's taking time to give it to you. But just because it's taking time doesn't mean it's not happening. You don't get anxious or spiral or react because your 3D loves it when you react and will do more of whatever you react to. Just like when you react to a baby throwing a tantrum. Reacting to unfavorable circumstances will always pull you back into the identity of not having what you want. And your reaction and attention is what makes that reality continue. So the next time your 3D shows you something that you don't want, like a rejection, like a bill, like getting fired, like getting treated poorly by a friend or a partner, I want you to pause and regulate your body before the reaction has a chance to land. Regulating your body can look like pausing and taking a deep breath for 4 counts. It It can also look like EFT tapping, which I have many videos of on my Instagram and TikTok. And this is where nervous system regulation is so important. Because when you're anxious and reactive, you are emotionally dysregulated. You can't be a calm parent with a difficult baby if you're emotionally dysregulated. And that's why a lot of us may have experienced very reactive parents, because they weren't emotionally regulated. And so you need to be regulated with your 3D reality. You need to be calm and not allow unfavorable circumstances to pull you back into a threat response. And take it from someone who's a control freak and needs everything to be perfect and in order. My ability to learn how to be non-reactive is my superpower and changed the way I live my life and manifest everything I desire. But it also takes a level of delusion, a level of detachment, and more than anything, a level of audacity. Not reacting to your 3D reality isn't avoiding. It's looking the issue right in the eye and saying, not today. Not me, not today, not ever am I allowing you to take me out of what I know is my destiny. That's being responsive and not reactive. So when the 3D triggers you, and it will, I want you to be responsive and not reactive. I want you to breathe first, to regulate first. And then from that calm, grounded, and open state, be responsive and say, not me and not today. Instead of why me and why today? Because a reaction comes from the old identity. A response comes from the new one. So we've talked about how to stop negotiating, how to stop reacting, and now the third and most powerful way for you to ignore your 3D is to start deciding. There's a version of you, call it your alter ego, your higher self, who already has everything you desire. And that version of you doesn't look at their 3D reality and wonder when it's gonna work out or when it's gonna show up. They've already decided that it has. To decide is to be in the knowing state. And the knowing state is the most powerful state you can be in when manifesting. The knowing state is the state when you have planted your seed and trust so completely in its growth that you never feel the need to dig it up and check. And I'm not talking about flowers. Sorry, my camera died, but what I was saying was, you water your seed with faith. You nourish it with belief. And you go about your life as the person who knows the flower, the job, the money, the partner, the success is all coming. When you stop negotiating, stop reacting, and start deciding, your identity begins to shift at a cellular level. Your old self will start to feel foreign, and your new identity will start to feel like home. And the moment that new identity feels like home, the 3D has no choice but to rearrange itself to match that frequency. Moment by moment, we are creating new realities because we are constantly making new decisions. And decisions are portals. And so you need to constantly be making decisions from the version of you who has it all. You know, you don't just decide once. You decide over and over and over again. Your 3D will show you unfavorable circumstances. Your 3D will be slow. Your 3D will be triggering. And each and every single time, you must decide that you are not giving into it. And you must decide that no matter what you want is already yours. So I want you to decide that it's real. Decide that it's yours. Decide that you are the type of person who can carry the blessings you're asking for. And once you do, you must live in that decision. So to recap, the 3 ways for you to ignore your 3D reality are to stop negotiating, because your 3D is just your past playing out in physical form. It has no authority over your future, and you must treat it like you would your ideal partner. To stop reacting, every emotional reaction you give to unfavorable circumstances reinforces it as real. You don't react to a baby, so don't react to your 3D. Breathe, regulate, and choose your response instead. And finally, to start deciding. Not hoping, not wishing, deciding. The knowing state is where manifestation becomes inevitable. So decide it's already yours moment by moment and live in that truth. You know, I don't want you to be the victim of your reality and your 3D. And I don't want you to be a lazy reactor to it. I want you, my angel, to remember that you are the conscious creator and operant power over your life, over your reality, and over your destiny. I love you so much, my angels, and I'm so grateful for all your love and support and this beautiful community we're building. Be sure to follow me on all socials at Chris the Vathison for shorter mindset and manifestation content. And please let me know if you have any video ideas or things you want me to talk about. All your messages and comments never go unnoticed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week for another video.